All right, we are here with Esmeralda and Antonio talking about their 15-month-old son that we just finished sleep coaching, and we're going to talk about the journey. So mom and dad, tell me what life looked like before you called me. Like where was Antonio sleeping? How much effort did bedtime take? What was happening in the middle of the night?
Before we called you, our son was co-sleeping with us. It took a lot of steps to get him to fall asleep. It required having to first put him in the stroller so that he would fall asleep as we were rocking him back and forth. It also took a bottle to fall asleep as well. Once he fell asleep in the stroller, then we put him in the bed where he slept with one of us. And then throughout the night, he would get an extra bottle of milk. And sometimes he would have even 2 bottles of milk. And even with that, for those 15 months, it seemed that even with extra help that we had so that one of us could sleep, he still kept waking up during the night and we just weren't getting a full night's rest.
Exactly. Like both of you guys had gone to the point where, like, even though you were co-sleeping, even though you were feeding, even though you were available to him in the middle of the night, nothing you were doing was easy at bedtime, nor was it easy in the middle of the night. And you guys were both just exhausted.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
So there you are, you're exhausted. So you're thinking, okay, we've got to do something about this. So how did you know to like look for a sleep coach, and what were you looking for when you were looking for a solution?
I had talked to a coworker and we brought up the topic of our kids, and my coworker had mentioned that they had worked with a sleep coach and shared their story. And so that's when I started to do my searching. I wanted to find someone that had the experience, that had success stories, and somebody that I could trust with my situation, and knowing that I had been going through this for well over a year. And so as I was looking at who I would want to reach out to learn more about their process, that's how I came across Joanna's page. And just the testimonials that I saw on there, and really the thing that attracted me to want to know more is that you refer to a no cry out method. I
Mhm.
had read a lot that either you put the baby and you let them cry it out, but that just was not something I was willing to do. And knowing just all the things that we were going through, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to spend the time and the money to work with a coach, that it would be someone that I knew could get me results the first time, and that there wouldn't be any back sets or something that would require me to go find another coach. And so I did a lot of research, consulted with my husband. I prayed about it too, and I thought this is what I should do. So I trusted my instinct based on what I had researched online, and reached out to you to set up an initial call.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally remember that call, and Antonio was there. And I remember Antonio asking lots of really good questions because he, could see that Esmeralda was just utterly depleted. And even though he was helping with the baby, Esmeralda was helping with the baby, and they have their mother-in-law living with them as well. So they had 3 really competent caregivers all ready to help their son sleep, take a nap, go to bed. Like everyone was all on board, ready and willing to help. And it was still that hard. And dad asked a lot of really good questions. Do you remember dad thinking about like, all right, the sleep coach thing sounds really good because I know I need a solution, but like, what is it? Like, do you remember that thought?
Yeah, I think that one of the key critical topics is we are trusting someone that we don't know, but we want to find a solution. This is our first child, so we don't have any background about how to deal with our son, or how to teach him to follow the proper steps for resting well at night. And just talking with you, you gave us that trust, that confidence, and that's how we started the process.
Awesome. And so then we began our work, and it was an awesome journey because we learned so much about AJ. And now he's sleeping through the night in his own room,
Yes,
and he loves his crib,
yes.
and he's taking good naps. But tell them the thing that was like most surprising about what happened with AJ and dad.
the bond that formed between them. Before, AJ was very attached to me, and so if I would walk somewhere in the house, he would follow me. But as a result of the sleep coaching, Dad was able to create a time for him to bond. And so they picked up bedtime stories, and it became this routine where he knew that when it was time to go to his room, it would be that special time with Dad.
And Dad, how do you feel about that? How have
And
you
that's
relation?
amazing because uh, at the beginning, it was like the only most important person for my son is his mom. But now I think we have a specific connection, and spend our time together and playing. And also when we go to bedtime, he's waiting for me. And if I don't do the process, of course he's expecting what is happening, or where is that? Because now he started calling me dad, dad, and where is that? So basically, uh, everything is really good now. But I also, it's a big responsibility now, because if I am not with him, I know that he will be calling me, and also it impacts everything else.
Yeah. And what else have you noticed about AJ since we did sleep coaching, right? So he's sleeping through the night, he's taking great naps. We got the daddy bond going really strong. But what else? Because he's been doing a lot of cool stuff. What else have you been noticing he's doing now because he's getting good sleep?
The first month, his appetite just took off. Before, we struggled to get him to eat 3 meals a day, and that just completely changed. He was having a full breakfast, full lunch, full dinner with snacks, and we definitely saw the results of that increase in appetite when he went to the doctors. He was growing faster than normal. He's currently in the 98th percentile in height. He
Awesome.
started picking up things so much quicker. ABCs, counting up to 20, just things that I would not even expect at his age that he would be doing. And so it's just like he took off in terms of his development as well.
That's so awesome. I just love that. I love how consolidated sleep, all of that learning was just brewing and waiting in the wings, waiting to come out. And once the consolidated sleep was there, it just came flowing right through. The appetite, the desire to learn, the curiosity, all of that, the personality. So if you met a mom or a dad who was like, I'm really struggling, but I'm too scared to sleep train, or I'm too scared to hire somebody to coach me through this, what would you want them to know? Like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that there's the greatest fear there is not giving yourself a chance to try something different. Because I think for me, it was getting to the point of saying I needed help and recognizing that it wasn't because I was doing something wrong. A lot of it is just because I didn't have the knowledge. And so, therefore, I didn't know what could have helped, or and I didn't also know what was not helping. I
Right.
was just doing what I thought was helping at the time. But I came to a point of saying, by asking for help for me, I'm helping everyone in the family. I'm helping my son primarily. So if I'm doing this, I'm doing it, one, for the benefit of my child, but if that's also going to impact all of us, absolutely. And one of the things that you shared with us is that by teaching him the skills to fall asleep, those are skills that he carries on as he grows older. And so, of course, as a parent, I want to do what's best for my child. And so, once I viewed it in that way, and once I understood that sleep is something that you can understand and you can learn the skills to help your child learn as well, then I think that was the aha moment of this is the right time, and I wish I would have done it sooner. But a lot of it was getting over the hurdle of I'm it's almost I'm asking for help to do something where I thought it was something I should have known how to do from the start.
Thank you for sharing that, Esmeralda, because it's true. Us moms have a hard time asking for help. And I'm so proud of you for recognizing that you asking for help wasn't a deficiency. You asking for help was going to benefit your son. It's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit your husband. It's going to benefit your whole family unit. That there's that the asking for help actually creates a wider net for everybody. And I love the way that you language that. So Dad, was there anything you would want to say to a parent that was too afraid?
Yeah, I think there are two topics. The first one is we were tired the whole time. We were not sleeping for almost 15 months. It was a very desperate moment because we cannot continue living the same way. The quality of life that we were having was not good. And we don't want to have the same situation for longer time than that. So we know that we didn't know or we didn't understand what behaviors or what patterns were impacting the situation, and we were living in a moment where it was not good. Even with 3 people checking him, it was not good. So basically, we just thought if we don't do something different, this is not going to change. So that's what we did. We took the risk. We are very confident with the decision we make, and now we see the results. It was not easy because it was required to remove a lot of emotions, because doing the change and implementing discipline with him in some moments was not easy. And also trying to know, create another incorrect behavior was critical for us, and it implies to follow your coaching and also implement the actions, because at the end of the day, we now have the knowledge, but if we don't follow the guidance, we don't get, or we don't achieve the results. So basically, I'm very confident now that what we did was a good for our life, for our family, and also we know that our son is doing much better because now he is really enjoying more his time and not struggling with the same situation that we had previously.
Fabulous. All right. Well, thank you guys. Such a pleasure working with you. And I'm just so pleased that AJ is just blooming and blossoming and getting beautiful, beautiful sleep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.